Well, hello and welcome back to part 7 of the NX-01 build. We got some things to do before we start getting the Aztec coloring put on. I got a couple photo etch pieces to put on areas in the back of the saucer, top and bottom. They give you ability to cut the windows out and add some light there to give you some more windows towards those back. What else? Prepping some little holes for the lights on the top of the ship. Yeah, that's pretty much getting down to it where we can tidy this up so we can start on the Aztec. So let's head over to the bench and take a look. Alright, welcome back. Let's show what we've got going on the bottom here. I got this piece glued in, but before I did that, I grinded out the two holes for the photo etch to fit on. Got that glued on. That looks really good. See that the light's going to come in through there. It's going to look nice. And also, I got the back pieces in. We had to light block this piece, and then before I did that, since I want to have a light going up in this tower here, I had to get a little small SMD LED, and I glued it to the back of that and centered it in the hole before gluing that all down. That way I can get these three walls put up. Got those all glued in and looking nice. Scratched off the detail for the hatches because those are going to get photo etch pieces. What else did we do here? And then this had a pretty, not bad, but very noticeable seam here. It fit flush. It just had a little seam in these corners, so seamed that all up. I used some canopy glue to seal up any gaps, so it'll be light blocked, and got it all light blocked. And what else? All the sidewalls are in on the saucer. Make sure those are light blocked. Use some canopy glue to seal up any little gaps. That way when I paint it, it'll just fill it and everything will be good. Always try to look for the light leaks before everything's together and majorly painted. It just makes it easier. Although the canopy glue and just touching it up later is not bad either, but this is, I find, the best way to do it. Hit it all in one shot, because you can hold it up to the light and see what leaks underneath. Now I'll still see through the canopy glue, will still glow, but I can tell that it's in there, and everything should be good. I was thinking about maybe hitting some black paint from the back, or sometimes I'll run a little test shot, but we're going to primer anyway, and that'll let us know if the light leaks are still there, because you'll still get a glow through the canopy glue, because that's its job. It's supposed to be a window maker and everything. But we're just looking at it. Just looking at it this way, I see that every hole and gap is filled. You got to look for where it might have actually settled and dried in. Still see little holes, but no, everything's looking good. So, yeah. And these are the two tails. I had a this LED was in my refit nacelle to light the thrusters, and my one cat decided he wanted to play with the long, because the leads to it are real long, and it was sitting on the table over where a chair that she likes to sit on. She decided she was going to tug and pull at it, and yeah, something happened. I don't remember exactly, but I had to take that out and replace it. I think she actually cut the wire, so but I reused it here. Works fine. Has just enough tails that I can get it to a power source. I'm trying to think if there's any other prep I need to do here. Got these all light blocked where I notched out for the lights that are going to go over these hanger bays. They're drilled. I think we're pretty good for a primer and start painting this. Yeah, there's not enough I can see that we need to do here. Always try to make sure it's all cleaned up. Pretty good. So let's look at the top part of the saucer. Alright. Now I was going to glue these in and do them the regular hull color, but I might go with just a lighter shade of silver just to make those stick out. They're like little hatches. So I'm going to leave them out for that then. It's easier to paint them and then glue them on later. Dust. What else? Same with this piece. I think I'm going to do that a steel color, and those a steel color, just to give some more color up here. That I'll probably paint it maybe a bronze or something, a gold, but that I can do later. That's enough. Oh, and then I pre-drilled. I was thinking of notching, because there's going to be a light right here, 3mm sticking up through here for this tower. It's funny because I'm going to do a regular white, and here on the bottom it's going to be a warm light, just to give it a little difference. I wish I could do a warm light, but I'd have to use an SMD. I don't think I have a warm white regular bulb. But yeah, so I was thinking, I didn't look up the instructions for Gary, the lighting kit I got. I was thinking of, this was going to be my only light source, and I was going to have to notch those there, so as the light came up through, it could bleed into these areas. But then I looked at that's why looking at the instructions always works. The way he has it designed, which works great, is you have that, and then there's going to be a 5mm LED right back here, which will hit, and if you drill 2 holes through there, it'll bleed it into those windows. So that's actually great. It works out great. So I got this piece drilled out and carved out the holes big enough for the photo etches to fit over, and the light to come through. So got the photo etch parts installed, and then I did a little, I'm thinking the interior, just from the show, it's kind of a dark interior, which goes great with the color I'm going to use for the Aztecing. So I just pre-brushed, because it also light blocks too, but I just pre-brushed that color in there. I don't think you'll ever really see in there, but just to give it that kind of hue, because I do eventually have to tape these and then do window maker inside there. Same thing with that bottom piece, but I did the same thing with that. I used that color, so just in case it does glow a little bit and you can see, because sometimes the candy glue glows, dries pretty clear. So, and I did the same thing on the back here. So when I get this piece glued in, which we're going to do here really soon, just in case you look back, you can, I doubt it with the brightness of the bulb, but since that bulb's light source is going to be back behind the wall, you might see a little bit in there. So just in case, just little things that you may not ever really see, but I know it's there, and it kind of just helps it, I guess. We'll see. So really, even to get this ready, I do want to drill those holes. I do want to drill the hole for the mounting rod in the bottom too. That way I don't have to worry about paint chipping up. I do need to drill the holes for the crystals here. I already got those holes drilled. I light blocked those because I had to notch a little bit there too. Anytime you cut back into this plastic after you did a light block in I use a chrome paint for reflective. Yeah, anytime you expose the raw plastic again, you definitely want to make sure you hit some type of light block. You know, I usually just take my black craft acrylic and just dab it in there because it's thick. And I had to do the same there where I drilled through. Okay, I think we're ready to glue this piece in. Or would it be easy to window make? To use the window make? Nah, I can get tape there. And can I still? Oh, but I won't be able to get in there. Yeah, so we're gonna have to do the window. I might leave this off. Now I'm looking at it. In order to get window maker in there. Okay. You don't want to come back out. Come on. There we go. In order to get, I think it's going to be really hard, especially for the center one. In order to get window maker in there, unless I leave them just open like, you know, they do in Star Wars and stuff. But I like how the window maker diffuses stuff. Then I'll have to mask it as well. But what I can do is paint this separately, do the window maker, and attach her afterwards. Because it's okay if it looks separate. So that's, yeah, so I'm glad I just thought about that. So that's what we're going to do. We'll leave that off. And paint that separate. The other piece on the bottom I already looked. This piece in the bottom I already looked. I can get in there. That's no problem to get the window maker in there. And dribble that in there. I already checked that out before I glued that on. But I am glad I checked this one because the center one would be impossible unless I do it from the outside. But being such a big hole, I like having tape over it so it makes the window flat. Because I don't know. Being, you know, smaller holes, you can just do that and do that afterwards. Like if you're doing like a Enterprise D and you drill those windows in and you want to paint and everything as the hulls together, you can just go in and rub the window maker in and do it afterwards, you know, just apply it into that spot. I don't know, there's not much of an edge with the photo etch for it to really grab on, so I think it's best if I leave that out. It's not a biggie. Nothing major. There goes me painting that up, but I can still do that before I even afterwards, so one of them can drill these holes, might as well do that. Nothing to do but to do it. Get these pieces already white blocked them, both sides, because they're a weird shape. So, and now we can actually get rid of all this. Well, there's these two pieces. We can get rid of all this extra spruce pieces. As it flies over there. Just makes it neater when you have your parts in the box. Go in the recycle bin. That's my sharp one. This one works good for. Most of that's going to be way down there. side preference. Try not to press them down too tight because they're far, because they're fitting in there really snug. Really snug. Yeah, it's gonna be a pain in the butt. There we go. Get out too. Yeah, they're pretty much identical, so it don't really matter. This will give me a good center spot. We do a 3mm hole in those. 3mm because it's going to have a 3mm blue. Make sure those are centered.
Up to 50% of people with Graves' disease will develop a separate condition called thyroid eye disease. If you have symptoms like redness, pain, or bulging eyes, find a specialist at isittbd.com.
We care that it's been hard. We care that we found a way to make the best of it. We care that you're long and free. Because we care, we'll see you soon. Book now at bestwestern.com.
Challenging times are nothing new. Our resilient,
Get them out of there to drill the hole.
their strength, and chapter family story. Learn more about theirs at Ancestry.
A safe place. I use for all my little parts that you're cutting off, or fall off, or I kept those little things that go for the deflector dish on the sprue part, but I didn't need most of that sprue. I didn't need anymore. Just keep them, and I keep them in little parts like this. Sometimes they're not just falling around, and they won't fall into the box and fall through cracks when you open it. So little Chinese food containers. Sometimes you can put like clear ones over here and keep them from getting scratched. But yeah, save those. They work as good little sorters. Alright. I'll drill those holes, and then I think we're ready to we'll be ready to hit this with a primer. I already gave it a scuff. I use steel wool works really good, or Scotch Brite, a 320 Scotch Brite. You can throw over and give it a little toothing to help your primer stick. Cool, because it will burn your hands at first. I said, I like to try to do all my drilling and major construction prior to painting. And if I need to just clean the hole out, not a big deal. This won't matter as much because it's all going to be covered. Those pieces go over and then they get a little clear plastic piece that goes over top. And I thought about maybe doing those clear plastic pieces blue, but since I'm going to use a blue LED bulb, I'm going to leave them clear because I think it would look neat that they're clear, and then whatever it is that's causing them to turn blue will turn them blue when the lights turn on. I try to do that a lot, you know. It would be nice to even have the nacelle caps clear. Then you can see all that stuff I did on there. But the way I painted those cones. But for purposes that there's direct light bulbs shining at this clear part, you would just see the 6 lights and hot spots where this will diffuse it a little bit, you know, make it not so such a hot spot. But sometimes it would look cool if what makes this red is what, you know, is actually running the solder collectors. Same thing with the warp engines. It's nice if you can, if they look not blue, but there's nothing you really can do. The advantage of having them colored is even when it's stagnant, you don't have the lights on, it looks like the show. But if there's areas like those crystals here that you cannot do that, and you don't need to use the blue or the whatever color it needs to be to help diffuse the light as well, you can't. The crystals on the top of the nacelles on the refit, I just left clear, and I used blue lights actually glow them. The nice thing about the nacelles on the refit is it's so much a black grill. I left that plastic part clear in the bands that the light's coming through, so when it's off, it looks off, you know, and then it only turns blue when they come on, so that looks cool. Same thing with the, you know, the deflector dish on the refit, you know, it'll look white. It's like an off-white when it's not running until I turn it on, and then it's the amber, and then I hit the button and it changes it to the blue. So that's cool. I try to do that as much as I can if it's possible. But okay. We'll make sure we clean and dust this all off so we don't have a good brush for that. Use a little coarser bristle to make sure we get a little, since I've been drilling, and we'll blow this off with some air. And we'll get her primed. But, alright. When I come back, she'll be primed up. And what would be the next thing I want to jump onto? I think we're going to start Aztecing this. We'll prime it. We'll do the darker shade for the Aztec, which was pretty much this color here. It's a, what is it? It's a zinc something. Yeah, just straight up zinc color from Doka Art. Get that next up. And then we'll seal that, and then we'll get doing some of the Aztecs from Aztec Dummy. And then we'll add the, this is a galvanized tin that I'm using as the main hull color. I think those two have a good contrast, but not extreme. You can get certain angles in the light, and it kind of blends in, which I like. Once again, as you can see on those spots, The light's hitting it right. I already did those, and I'm gonna do all these little details as well, but top and bottom. But you get some glare, and it, you know, it doesn't make it stand out. It's perfect contrast. It's not like boom, you know. Especially because this piece is going to have a lot of these top squares here. Are pretty much going to be the darker zinc. This one. So, and if it's too dark, I can you just do a mist of the actual hull color to tone it down a little bit. So, but yeah, let's get these pieces primed. Let them dry. We'll get and then we'll get a coat of the darker Aztec shade on. Start Aztecing it and get these painted up, and then I think then I'll start flipping over to the lights. That way I'm not handling the dishes with the wiring in it. So I think that would be best. Alright. Well, let's get at least primer and get the base coat down, and I'll see you then.